Carmel Valley, a nice big house, but the cost avoidance, he's going to spend to add this system to his mortgage is going to cost him $338 a month to be net zero energy, 20 kilowatt system, big system, and he's going to save. His standard operating cost for a house this size is $1,000 a month, and so you can see how much he's saving. And keep in mind, you have to make what $1,700 a month to pay PG, $1,000 a month. So he's really saving a fortune. Client's very happy about that. Okay, simple thing for the designers we have, and again we have this updated on our website. We want to give you what we call the net zero energy factor, and it's basically what percentage of the house needs to be in solar panels. For smaller houses, you need a fairly big percentage of the house in solar panels, about 25%. The reason for this is simple. In a small house, you still have a kitchen, a laundry room. You probably got a nice big TV and all the other things. So your ratio of energy on a per square foot basis is much higher in a smaller house than a larger house. In most medium-sized houses, it's about 15% of the floor area needs to be in south-facing roof, or it could be a ground mount, or it could be a trellis mount, that sort of thing. But those that, for a small house, figure 25%. For anything else, 15% or less. And for a really large house, this house down here at the bottom, I mentioned 15%, but this has a well, a swimming pool, and a bunch of other outdoor usage that kind of increase the percentage. Okay, the process for converting a house to net zero energy, or going through the process of having a net zero energy house is really pretty simple. Mail us some plans, or email us some plans, with or without the energy calcs. If you send it with the energy calcs, which is great, or we can do it either way, but we review the plans and we do some consulting on the conservation. But again, chances are you're already doing that. We take the plans and we do our net zero energy certified power consumption worksheet for both standard and non-standard usage. And between the energy calcs and that, and the owner's input, we're getting pretty close to saying, what is the kilowatt hours required on an annual basis. Now, the owners may come to us and say, look, we don't use half as much energy as you guys assume, and that's great. But we don't, usually the owner input will go on up from there. We don't like to design to a smaller load unless the owners are really quite insistent and have a historical use and that sort of thing. Anyway, so we calculate total kilowatt hours required, issue a preliminary net zero energy certified scorecard, and obviously design or size the solar electric system required. During construction, review the mechanical and solar plans and the HERS inspection reports, and then issue the net zero energy, the final scorecard and certificate. Here's what I think the incentives for the homeowners today. We think the system, we can prove the systems are cost effective today. They're more cost effective if propane is the backup than natural gas, but they're still very cost effective today. As energy costs continue to rise, you'll see greater savings. Pretty much most everything you read says energy costs will rise somewhere between 4 and 6% throughout this next decade, and that was pretty consistent through the last decade. So at any rate, there's financial incentive there. The homeowners also feels he's being responsible and showing a good example to his neighbors. The homeowners we've worked with, about all 100 of them, they all say that they feel a great sense of independence, and to be honest, they feel superior to their neighbors and friends. There's nothing like a net zero energy house. The more efficient a house is, it's also perceived to be of higher quality. It's healthier, better and faster resale. Can directly reduce our country's dependence on foreign oil, as well as people that have concerns over the climate concerns. Okay, for the architect, there's also many other incentives. You're providing a service that your customers need, and will value and appreciate. This is a very straightforward, attainable project goal. There's not a lot of fluff here. It's all math. How much energy are you going to use? Here's how much energy we need to supply. It's a very simple thing. By planning for solar contribution, the architect retains the aesthetic control of the system, location, and appearance. These systems are going in whether the architect wants to plan for it or not, and they're only going to go in greater numbers. The economic value is there, and so, but the architect, can creatively place the panels where they're not seen from the street or any other location. There's doing some great stuff in work with trellises or ground mounts if it's a big lot, or just built into the roof in ways it's not going to be seen. And then one of the things we've noticed is for more or less the cost of lead paperwork, the homeowner gets to install a net zero energy system, the entire PV system to produce all the energy that the house will need for probably 30 years or more, just for the cost of paperwork of going through a lead the lead system. Keep in mind, 2016, which is not that far away, half of all new homes in California will be net zero energy, and by 2020, the rest of them will. And there's already talk in some areas about having building moratoriums based on, CO2 gaseous emissions, which would be crazy, but that's what they're talking about. Okay, if you get a chance, take a look at our website. It's called Net Zero Energy Certified. Goes through a good deal of what we talked about today is in there, and let me know. That's it.